I love you.
Chip, chip, cheerio, alrighty. Welcome back to the Couch Potatoes. There's plenty of room. As always, we're glad to have you on the couch with us. I am the Green Traveller from Gosh.
Down under. And
Good eye, mate. It's a little different. I am not good at accents, but if
that was
that close
pretty
to
good Australian. Yeah, I thought so.
I wasn't going for Australian. I was trying New Zealand.
Well, it was Australian, but it's okay. You did good Australian.
I'm sorry, New Zealanders.
It's the same quadrant of the world. So
yeah, I know.
Yeah. Yeah.
I just want Jermaine and Brett to like me.
Me too, buddy.
And Reese. I'll take Reese as well.
I also like Paul Williams. I don't know if you know Paul Williams, but
I'm sure if I look him up. Obviously,
he's the Taskmaster's assistant. Yeah, it's two very generic white people names is what it is. But
wait, it's not the composer.
No, he's an actor, a New Zealand actor, and he is the Taskmaster's assistant in Taskmaster New Zealand. But he also was a bit role in Our Flag Means Death. But
I saw that, but Blue Coat number 1 doesn't help me remember him, sadly.
No. But he's fun. He's like fun in a dry way. At least that's his character on Taskmaster.
I like that.
Yeah.
Hell, I watched Flight of the Conchords for years. So.
There's also some watching like game shows that have like celebrities from different countries that speak English. Not that I wouldn't be interested in from other cultures that don't speak English, but that I just understand English.
No, I went down a rabbit hole of watching like BBC game shows for a long time. Like this was recently, like 2 years ago, because I saw that like some Doctor Who actor was on it, and I was like, oh, I want to watch that. And then it was a show where they're just telling a lie. And they're trying to sell the lie.
Oh, okay.
And then, like, the other group has to determine whether or not they're actually telling a lie or if it's an actual true story that happened to them. And so it's, like, it's very interesting. And I was just immediately just like, well, I'm going to watch the 2 seasons of this that are out. And then I did that. And then, from there I went to, like, I don't know, Japanese game shows.
Oh, yeah, there's some fun there.
It's a weird rabbit hole to go down.
So I am the Faceless Leon. And this is a podcast about movies and TV, and we're not talking about New Zealand television. We are talking.
No.
But we are trying to broaden our sense of culture and our minds by returning to the Disney playlist with Fantasia 2000.
We're in the post-Renaissance era, baby.
Yeah. Yeah, and
They've had their heydays, and now we're on the decline.
I kind of feel it a little bit right away. Not that this was... This is not going to end up being a review where I say I hated this movie, because I didn't.
No.
But
I don't hate it. From an animation standpoint, it's beautiful.
Yeah, there's some really pretty stuff. But it also just did not wow me. Like, really,
I didn't care
at all.
Like,
yeah.
But honestly, the music is beautiful. There is like I had it on for the music because I listen to a lot of classical music. People made fun of me in high school because I would play that in the car, going to and from school. And then like if I ever gave somebody a ride, they'd be like, "What in the fuck are you listening to?" And it's like, I like classical music. It keeps me awake. And like I had bad insomnia in high school, so it's like. That was I don't know why, but classic music, there's something beautiful and moving to it that if I'm like falling asleep while driving, when back in high school with bad insomnia, I had that.
Well,
I never fell asleep at the wheel, I will say that, but I had moments of feeling incredibly tired at the wheel, and classical music, I don't know, it just perked me up. I love that shit.
I mean, yeah, Wagner's pretty. It's like heavy metal.
It's like that's gonna be on the albums now. It's like when they remaster Wagner. It's like Wagner. It's like heavy metal.
The Faceless Leone.
Oh my god. Yeah, so let's get into it. Roy E. Disney. He pitched this good old thing. I don't know his relation. I think he was a nephew.
See, I thought he was a kid.
He might be the son. I don't know. But he pitched this idea. They've long wanted to do a sequel to Fantasia. I don't know why. I mean, I'm sure it made money. Maybe there is a good idea behind it. I like the anthology idea. You know, I like a good anthology movie. But for me, and I know this is a little bit of a clusterfuck. It's a what's the word for it?
Compilation.
No. It is a compilation. No, it's a bit hypocritical. That's not the word I'm oxymoronic.
Oh, okay.
Because it's like I love a good anthology,
sure.
Yet I like an anthology that has a through line still.
Right.
And that's why it's oxymoronic, is because it's like an anthology is supposed to be like a bunch of standalone things, but I love when there's something that's tying it all together, whether it's quiet like Trick or Treat, you know how it's like those are all separate stories, but they're all in the same town.
Yeah.
You know, it's like they all come across each other, which is nice.
It's interesting,
but they don't really affect each other.
Like, I feel like I don't remember what our review of Fantasia ended up being. I know that there was a lot of talk about the racist stuff.
Yeah.
And luckily there's none of that in this that I can tell. I
don't remember.
It's pretty.
I kind of zoned
G-rated.
out and just started listening to music.
Yeah. But I do recall it feeling like it all belonged together at the very least.
Right. And like the orchestra was like the connecting
through line.
And it's like that's still the case here, but
it doesn't feel quite the same for sure.
And the reason is because the animators are there. You know, you have people introducing each segment.
You remember there's like I thought that they were people play that. I thought they were the composer and.
There was everything. There was composers. There was artists.
That's right.
Each little segment lead in.
Yeah, the guest celebrities were talking to the different musicians. I remember now.
Yeah.
And
it's like it works.
Yeah.
Because each segment's introduced by somebody different. I think that's another change. Because I think the original one.
It was all the same guy.
Had one person.
Yeah, it was all the same guy.
And this one, it's like a bunch of different celebrities. I don't remember it either. It's actually, I think it's in here because we'll talk about it later, but they do.
Yeah, they do. Deems Taylor.
Deems Taylor?
Deems.
Yes, that is right. Deems, yeah. Yes, that is correct. So it's like, that was kind of a through line too. And here it's kind of like everything's a little separate because it's always a different, guest star. To introduce it, to bring asses into the seats, if you will.
I guess so. I mean, did anybody know that these people were going to be in this movie?
I have no idea. I don't even know if anybody knew this movie was coming out.
I don't know how it did in the theater.
I don't remember. I obviously don't remember this movie when I was a kid. I would have been 7.
It made approximately $5 million more than its budget.
Hell yeah!
So
way to go, good job, Disney. Let's just dive into it. The Symphony Number 5.
Okay,
that's the first segment.
Yeah.
Symphony Number 5, Ludwig von Beethoven. Very good.
Yeah.
This one is more. I don't know, like it's not avant-garde, but it's more like
it's very. I had the abstract.
Thank you. That was the word that I was looking for, and all I can think is avant-garde.
And that was a big thing that was a through line in Fantasia, the original as well, is that there's some music that's definitely telling a story, and that's basically what Deems Taylor is saying when they're introducing this. Like, they're harking back to that first movie, and I thought it was a strong introduction. But
they just did the exact same intro, I think.
Right, but they harken back to the original throughout, but in a way that is lazy. I wanted to get that out of the way, I guess.
Yeah,
but
it's very lazy.
Yeah, but we'll get more into that.
Specifically,
this opening,
later
though,
on.
I thought, this opening,
it worked
with the audio coming through from the original and then coming into the tuning of the new orchestra, that worked for me. But
yeah, I really liked that.
And then I liked this first sequence and stuff too, of the animation.
But I like it too, but it kind of just put me to sleep. It kind of shut my brain off in a bad way. But I mean, that's true. But I mean, it's like when you start off with like this abstract art as your animation, it's like where all these little shapes and everything are dancing across the screen, different colors, all that fun stuff, beaten with the music. Like, that is a good sequence. It's really good animation. But because it's abstract, because there's no story and all that stuff, my brain instantly just kind of shuts off and takes in art, which is great. But then you follow it up with story art. Yeah. And my brain is shut off. And my brain is in like art viewing mode where it's just like, I just want to take in pretty colors and be wowed. And so now that, when number 2 comes around, which we might as well get into, Pines of Rome by Ottorino Respighi.
That's right.
When that story starts happening, I'm just like, my whole brain is like, I'm trying to focus, but I'm dead.
Oh, you were already dead. Well, I was watching it with another person, so I got to have, we did commentary together, me and my wife.
That's fair. It was very fair.
But yeah, the first piece I will agree with you is a little dull. But it does have magentas, reds, oranges, yellows, greens, cyans, turquoises, blues, indigos, violets, purples, pinks, grays, whites, and browns in various shades, tints, tones, and hues.
Thank you. It's very important. I'm so happy that Wikipedia listed all of those. Fucking damn.
That was only half of the sentence.
And it was the middle half.
Yes.
No, it's fine. The first segment is fine. I think it's just badly placed.
Oh yeah.
Because like I think throw your abstract, your less storytelling art more towards the middle. So it's like you're drawn in by the storytelling art.
Yeah.
And then when that is able to happen, you're in an analysis mode. You're still enjoying it. You're still taking it in, but you're not shutting down.
Right. Exactly. Yeah, I agree. Your opening needs to draw people in, and once they're already drawn in, then an abstract thing might be interesting to them. I agree with what you're saying.
And then the abstract, it ends.
Yeah,
and
then
Steve Martin's
there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which I was like, oh, is he going to be like the Deems of this movie? I was like, that'd be really
that's what
fun.
I thought.
And he even says, and we'll talk about the Steve Martin School of Music as well. And I was like, oh, that's interesting.
Cool,
but it was just a joke.
And the camera's panning away from him, and he's like, bring the camera back to me. Wait a minute.
Yeah, wait a minute.
Hey.
Yeah, that was funny. I will give it that. But I was a little disappointed that Steve Martin wasn't
he was just gone after that.
The presenter.
And then we follow a bunch of humpback whales. Yeah. You have Pines of Rome. And as, because the camera panned from Steve to Itzhak Perlman.
Right.
Who was the segment, I don't know what he was.
I don't know, he introduces it, but I thought he was the conductor. I could be wrong.
Yeah. He's an Israeli-American violinist. All right.
Okay, so he was probably playing the violin.
Probably. and like, as he mentions, you hear Pines of Rome, most people think more like autumnal, natural,
right, like
atmosphere. And then he's like, our animators thought of something entirely different. Humpback whales in the ocean. And I'm just like... Yeah, I mean, that is a very interesting choice because I've never heard Pines of Rome and thought about whales. I'd also never seen this movie.
I don't know that I've really heard Pines of Rome and thought, oh, Pines of Rome.
That's very fair. That's very fair. I don't honestly know what I was thinking when I heard Pines of Rome before. I'm really hoping it's not humpback whales now. And I will say, I will credit this sequence for one thing. There's a little bit of a story, there's this baby whale. Thank you. It's separated from its mommy and daddy, or its mommies, or its daddies. And
who cares?
It's got to go on a search to help.
Anybody can be a whale dad, or mom.
It's got to go find
couple.
them. Exactly.
Or dads.
And it's fascinating. You got the whales like flying through the ocean, and they're flying through the sky, and then they're going through clouds, and the sequence is beautiful. Mm-hmm. It's obviously computer animation at some point.
Yeah. So what?
And that bothered me.
We have an OLED TV, as we've mentioned before. So it was very clear to me that most of the water and the ice was drawn animation, probably with some computer assistance with movement and stuff, because a lot of animation does that from the late 90s on.
The whales.
The whales were definitely a computer animation.
And I couldn't, man.
But
it's
so this is what I said to Sarah. I said, I think the water is very pretty and good, and I think that the whales are actually fairly pretty and good, but they're not mixed together very well.
No, not at all. And that's the thing, is like this is the era of
the uncanny
animation.
Valley. I mean,
yeah. It really is. Like it's that I mean, it's not actually, but it's that computer animation where it's like they haven't figured out, but they're very insistent on using it.
Yeah.
And it looks ugly.
Right.
And to be fair, they don't look ugly here.
They don't look ugly. The whales look good. It's just they don't fit good in the environment very well.
Yeah.
It was better after they started flying, though. I think.
It was better when that happened. Except for when they were in space. I did not like them flying in space because that looked bad.
Yeah.
But I agree with you that, like, I'm happy. Well, I say I agree with you. I'm happy they did not do the landscape, the background stuff as computer. Like, I'm happy they didn't do that. Assuming they didn't.
There was obviously some strokes, some paint-esque strokes in it.
Yeah. But yeah, it's just, I don't know. It obviously got better, as we know. Now, in 20 years later.
Right.
But this is that era of animation where I'm just like, why did you insist on this?
I guess it released in Carnegie Hall in December 1999. But it is a 2000 movie, obviously. Fantasia 2000. But
right at the end of the century.
Right at the end of the millennia. And so it is, I think, pretty safe to say it's 25 years old, because it takes a while to animate these things.
Right.
So and then production and marketing and whatever takes a hot minute.
Oh, and who's the band? Let me find the band here real quick.
Some Symphony Orchestra.
Chicago Symphony, conducted by James Levine, who later introduces one of these.
That's true.
Yeah, so give proper shout outs to them. Their music is beautiful. They did a great job.
Yes, for sure. They don't come back to Steve Martin. They come back with
Quincy Jones.
Quincy Jones. Yeah. He's with the pianist Ralph Gierson, and they do a thing that I honestly don't remember, but it's about jazz. It's I only remember it being about jazz.
Yeah. I remember enjoying this segment. I don't remember the introduction at all.
No, not
sadly.
very well. It's coming back to me just a little bit. He talked about the history of Rhapsody in Blue just a little bit. He talked about how George Gershwin wanted to use jazz in a big piece. And so that's where it came from, as kind of like the first of its kind, I think, is what he was getting at. But anyhow, the story of Rhapsody in Blue in the animation, very much a story. There are four individuals that they all live in two-dimensional New York. Duke wants to be a drummer, but he's a construction worker.
Yeah.
And then
I love that he goes up the elevator and he has his little jackhammer and he keeps falling down the structure of the building they're working on as he's jackhammering.
Well, he's riveting is what he's doing.
Riveting.
But
thank you.
It does look like a jackhammer. I was like, why is he taking the jackhammer up to the top? And then he starts riveting. I was like, oh, okay, that makes more sense. But it doesn't make any sense because he's falling off the building to continue working.
It's wonderful. He's just, in his mind, he is just drumming away, having a great time.
Right. And then you got Joe, has no money. Because he's been unemployed and he just wants a job. And then you got a little girl named Rachel who's got really rich parents who, she has a governess because of that, but she wants to spend time with her parents. And
fuck the governess.
Yeah, and then
like the dad does.
That's right. He does. I'm sure he does. That's your real mommy. So very Disney moral forward this segment.
Oh, and last but not least you got John, who is he just wants a simple life,
and he has a wonderful mustache. That's all I remember about John, honestly.
And his wife, he's rich and his wife just wants everything basically, and he's just like, damn, I dream of a simpler day. And it's fun. It's a fascinating animation where it's like all these 4 or 5 people, I remember we just talked about, they go through a day of their life, and in the end, their stories all cross, and they all get the wish that they want.
Yeah.
But they don't realize that their stories cross. I love tales like this. Babel, all those kind of tales.
Yeah.
Like, it's very fun when you tell multiple different stories that somehow sync up, whether those people know it or not. It's very fascinating to me.
Yeah.
And I like this one. I think it's very fun. It's like, the only thing I really remember is at the end you have like Duke goes to a bar and he's having a great time being a drummer, and then the guy who wanted a job just takes over the construction business job. Yeah. He's just like walking by and Duke's just like, here man, here's my title, here's the riveter thing. Yeah, go on, and have a good job. Has a hat.
Oh hell yeah! He's so happy just to have a fucking job.
Oh my god, if only it was that easy to just like walk somewhere and just be like, you want a job? Yeah.
I do. Doing what? Crawl in that hole. I don't want this job.
How much money?
Yeah, I'm sure that Joe wanted the job. Yeah.
Okay. And then from there, we go to Piano Concerto No. 2, Allegro Opus 102 by Dmitri Shostakovich.
Bette Midler!
And Yefim Bronfman.
Yeah, he's featured in the piece. But Bette Midler didn't... it seemed like Bette Midler didn't even come to set. She's just like floating in a diamond or something.
I don't even remember it, man. Yeah. This is when my brain was off. But done.
I do believe that she said that this was an option to go into the original. It is based on a story by Hans Christian Andersen, which Disney loves Hans Christian Andersen. So this is called The Steadfast Tin Soldier, the story is. And he's got a broken leg, but he's in love with a ballerina, and she needs help from an evil jack-in-a-box. And woo! That was real quick getting through that. But that's the story. I did like it, but that, the jack-in-a-box at one point, gets him thrown out in the trash, and he manages his way back into the house and stops the jack-in-the-box from forcing himself on this ballerina, which was weird. But yeah, that's how that one went.
And it's kind of sad too, because it says this version has a happy ending, and I'm just like, God damn, Hans, like,
so it didn't.
How'd your story end?
Jack in the Box got his way.
Oh, yuck.
Yuck. Well, next we had The Carnival of the Animals, or Le Carnival des Animaux Finale, by Camille Saint-Saëns. maybe. I don't know how the French do umlauts, or if she's French, or I don't know.
Yeah, all I know is I thought French was a beautiful language until I heard two native French people have an argument. They're a married couple, that is. And I found out that it could be far more guttural than I ever imagined French could be.
Greenie, do you realize that, like, more than half of our audience is in France?
Hey, it is still a beautiful language. I just always thought... I had always just thought, it's like that's one of the most beautiful languages ever. And then I heard two regular customers where I work.
You're just saying when you fight in French, it's nasty, is what you're saying.
Oh yeah, they had a fight, and I was just like, whoa! I have never heard that much phlegm used in French before. Like, it was scary.
Okay, well, this one was introduced by James Earl Jones. And he does a little bit of, I guess Eric Goldberg is in this bit too, but he hands him a script. They do a script bit where he hands him a script and he reads it, and he's like, I don't remember what was said actually, but he's like, who writes this? What's going on? It was a silly bit.
Like he started, because like didn't he start doing an introduction, and then that guy was like, wait, we rewrote it or something, or I can't remember.
Yeah. But that was the bit. And anyhow, that just brings me to what I want to say about the celebrity guests. Like, a couple of them had funny bits, and that's great. But James Earl Jones and Bette Midler particularly, like, they did not seem like they were super prepared to make this a memorable thing.
I don't even think Steve Martin was ready to do it. Like,
well, his
camera joke still felt flat for me.
Right. But it's a very serious toned show. Like, it was, it was supposed to be dry. So, but I feel like if they would have just stuck with Steve Martin. He has a dry, he can have a dry sense of humor, and it could have really worked.
He could have ran with it easily. Yeah.
Not to shit on Bette Midler and James Earl Jones, they thought they just needed to introduce a musical number. It was not even one day of work for them, but a paycheck. So I don't blame them for their performances, but I do feel like they're legends and they can do better.
I agree. And the animation's funny too. Like, I enjoyed the animation.
I did like this one.
You got the classic flamingo look. I mean, they don't really go above and beyond trying to make the flamingo look, Disneyfied. It already is an easy Disney character, or animal, I should say. But it's got a funny yo-yo, and it does tricks.
Yeah.
It's whatever, it's all right. It's an animation. It's good.
It's fun. It's a good Disney short that, like, show it on Mickey Mouse Clubhouse when it used to be, that a different show. It's a completely different show now. Have you seen the, like, really kiddie 3D animated show that they made?
Nope.
It's
I
weird.
avoided it. There's a lot of new stuff that I'm just like, nope, I'm all right. Paw Patrol, nah, I'm good.
I don't need that.
Fucker.
Yeah. So next up,
now we get to the laziest portion.
To be fair, Disney was so fucking horny for this segment.
Not enough people have seen this.
He tried to sell it like 6 Ways from Sunday. Like,
oh my god.
Anyhow, The Sorcerer's Apprentice by Paul Dukas. It comes back, and I don't feel like we need to talk about it again, but it is introduced by Penn and Teller, which was interesting.
Yeah, and they do have a new, it's not Walt Disney doing the voice, it's now Wayne Allwine of Mickey, that is. So it's like, afterwards, when Mickey is running around set trying to find Donald.
Right.
Donald, you're on! Yeah, Donald, where are you?
Probably the best bit of the show, because he does make James Levine just vamp for a little bit, and he does not seem prepared for that at all, which just made the bit work.
I do like the Penn and Teller introduction. Like, they do a little bit of magic. That's fun.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. It was silly.
I like Penn and Teller.
But I was like, these guys are like, ball busters. They're like, kind of like, I don't know. I kind of always viewed them as bad boys a little bit. Like, they're... well, like, they're dorks. They're fucking magicians. Yeah. But, like...
but they do...
They try to, like, expose... To spot the air. Yeah. I'm not just talking about that. But they had Penn and Teller bullshit when we were kids.
No, that's what I'm talking about. That's what they would find the error. They would find the errors that magicians would make and be like, we saw your tell there. It's like, this is where you made the error. You the show card. That
when we were a kid, Penn and Teller bullshit, was them talking. It was a doc series of them going through and talking about things that they think is a crock of shit and that you should avoid, right. Like Reiki and spiritualism and chiropractic. And some other stuff. So, and I always associated them with bad language because
that's fair.
Yeah. I think Penn's the one that talks. He loves to use bad language. Yeah. Obviously Teller does not.
Yeah, Teller is only ever heard by Penn.
Yeah. And I just thought it was a strange ad in this kids movie. Like, I don't know, maybe they were trying to change.
It was for the parents.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I feel like this whole show is for the parents, and the parents don't care. So, pomp and circumstance is the thing that James Levine introduces that they needed Donald for.
Marches 1, 2, 3, and 4.
That's right. So
I'm curious if there's more.
Donald Duck,
like 8. There's 5 marches. They just left the 5th out.
Left that one. That's weird.
Fuck the 5th one.
So Donald Duck is not Noah, but he's Noah's assistant. Even though Noah's like in this bit for like half a second, he could have just made Donald Noah. But anyways, they're doing the Ark thing, and he's gathering the animals, and he has a girlfriend named Daisy Duck, canonically through the universe of Mickey Mouse and whatever.
Right.
And she's in this. Disneyverse. And they're the pairs, though it is funny. He does do a double take when the ducks walk by.
He's like, there are already 2 other ducks. And they make the age-old joke of, like, you have a dragon and a unicorn laughing at everybody off to the side.
They're all just fucking laughing.
They're like, you fucking idiots getting on this ship. Ha ha ha.
It was funny, okay?
It was funny. I honestly, this was one of the ones that I enjoyed. It was this one and those 2 that we talked about already. But, like, I enjoy it. Like, Donald doesn't know if Daisy's alive. Daisy doesn't know if Donald's alive because of a unfortunate switch up.
Yeah, and the boat's so big that they never come across each other.
Stupid. And it is funny. It's like enjoyable.
9 people on that boat. Somebody knows that they don't think each other survived. And they couldn't.
Nobody can understand. Nobody can understand Donald.
That's true. And Daisy is just silenced in grief. That's the explanation.
Or whoever knows that Daisy is grieving has a crush on Daisy and is just like, soon she'll realize that bitch Donald isn't good enough for her.
Yeah. Or they're just like, that bitch Donald is a fucking mess. You don't need that, sister.
But this brings me to a thing, a very controversial thing I want to talk about here.
Okay.
Because I've just discovered recently, after talking to some individuals I knew who are Christian, who actually believed in the story of Noah's Ark. Come on, people. Like, use your fucking brains. How in the hell would one man build a ship so massive he can fit 2 of each animal on the planet onto it, one male and one female,
I could believe,
and not have all those animals kill each other.
I could believe that a crazy man built a boat and then it did flood. I can believe that.
I can believe in the flood. There are numerous stories that talk about a flood.
Exactly.
That I can believe in. But Noah's Ark, I had to have a serious conversation with a couple of Christians who legitimately were like, they found Noah's Ark. And I'm like, no, they fucking did not. It's not real. Just use some fucking logic, people. That's all I'm asking. Like, you have whatever faith you want. I am not attacking your faith. Yeah. I'm just saying, you have to realize that some stories in the Bible are metaphors.
They're stories, yeah.
They're stories.
They're morality
Not every
tales.
Single word is... Yeah. It wasn't meant to be taken literally. Not all of it, at least. Some of it, you can argue, was meant to be literal. Totally fine.
Yeah.
But that story... and I was watching this, and all I could think about was those 2 people I had that conversation with.
I don't even think it's, like, logical to think that Noah could gather all of the animals of the region. Like...
No.
Yeah.
Just literally, if you were to tell me to do that right now, like, if somebody would be, like, if God were to be like, Greg, you have to take care, build this ark and get 2 animals of, 2 of each animal of Indiana, I'd be like... Oh my god. Cow, sheep, pig, dog, cat.
What else is there?
We don't need mosquitoes.
They find a way. Those bastards.
It's impossible to even believe that he would know what all the fucking animals in the world are. Like, it's just silly.
Okay, and theology aside.
Theology aside, this is a fun little animation. I enjoyed that animation. It's whatever. That's all I had to say about that, though.
The last, just one more, introduced by Angela Lansbury, who, if you don't know who Angela Lansbury is, she did Murder, She Wrote for an eternity.
Everybody knows who Angela Lansbury is.
I don't think that's true. We're 30-some years old now.
Y'all motherfuckers should know who Angela Lansbury is.
She died when we were like 13. So
get some culture, people. That's all I'm saying. If you don't know who Angela Lansbury is, get out there and get some culture.
Oh fuck, she died last year. What the fuck? I thought she died for a long time ago. I'm sorry.
No,
Angela.
That's what I'm saying. Everybody should know who Angela Lansbury is. She did so much shit.
She lived to 96. Good for you, lovely Angela. Lady.
Yeah, I had have an argument to my mom too because we were talking. I was just like, "There's some people who this is completely off, not at all about." You said it lived to 96, and I remembered that Betty White lived to 99. But I was just like, "It's like Betty White, she'll never die." And Mom's like, "Greg, I hate to tell you," and I'm like, "Nope, nope." She'll never die. Everybody's saying that she died at 99. She's still alive. Betty White cannot die. I refuse to believe.
She just transferred into a younger body. That's all.
She's taking a nap. She's just taking a nap until she gets...
nap.
Yeah, until her next personality is ready and waiting. But yeah, Firebird Suite, getting back on point. Angela Lansbury introduced, Igor Stravinsky composed... I remember Bambi's dad being in it, and that's about it.
Yes, it's an elk, not a deer, but
Bambi's dad.
Bambi's larger dad awakens a sprite, a beautiful sprite. I called her Demeter. That's what I felt like she was, invoking to me. I mean, it was about the change of the seasons a bit, So
that's fair.
He wakes her up, and the winter scene starts to become a spring scene, and then she tries to spread the spring on a volcano. She tries the spreading it on the volcano wasn't what was funny to me. What was funny to me was the sprite tried to spread the spring.
Spread the spring.
So, yeah, but the volcano won't take the I guess growth, and then the volcano erupts and it destroys basically everything, including the sprite, it seems. But the elk notices that the sprite has barely survived, and he helps restore her. And then she slowly tries to bring the forest back to life, and it's a nice, beautiful floral scene. I liked it.
I think I was completely just listening to the music on this one. I don't remember the. Again, all I remember is Bambi's dad, and that was it. No, I remember what you literally just said. Now I'm saying when I watched this,
right? But
I remember seeing Bambi's dad.
Happening.
I don't remember the sprite, what the sprite looked like. I don't remember what, the volcano or the fire spirit. Like, I don't remember any of it. Like,
wow.
Man, well, I was done with this movie by then, I guess.
I guess that's fair. Well, it was one of the stronger ones, I'll say. And the sprite is all over the advertisement for this movie. Like,
really?
Yeah, they're like the main character in the advertisement. They do have Donald in the robe, I remember, but it literally, she's on the cover and shit. But anyhow,
I only have the Wikipedia poster, which doesn't show.
Yeah, I don't. Oh, it has the Firebird, but
yeah, it's got the fire one, but doesn't have her at all. So
well,
I don't remember what she looks like.
I remember the VHS tape being red and having her on it.
Ooh, red! I like that. That's a good choice.
So anyways, that's how it ends, and it didn't seem like it was over, but it ended, and
it fizzled out.
Actually, I guess so. Now that we're here at our closing statements, I didn't really like it. I guess I didn't.
I'll be honest, I completely skipped The Sorcerer's Apprentice. I got 2 minutes into it, and I was like, they didn't change a damn thing, so I just fast forward through it. I was like, nope, I'm done.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think bullshit. It's a good short, but it was fucking super lazy. Yeah,
it's like that's worse than their live action remakes they're doing right now. Like,
is it?
Yes, because the live action remakes they actually have to put effort into making those.
That's true.
This didn't have to put any effort.
That's true.
They just took one tape out of the vault and just stitched it in.
They didn't claim it was new. They're just like, here's this thing that we did in the other movie.
Yeah. But still, like, I'm not, like, they're not claiming the live action remakes are new. They're just claiming they're live action, even though it's all animated.
Like, especially, you know what really, like, I know it's like, people are like, it's semantics, man. But no, fuck. The fucking Lion King movie was animated.
Yes.
There were no actors, like, live actors in that movie. You can fuck off right now.
For real. No, I can't, man. That pissed me off that they just took in a complete short and just put it into this movie. I'm like, no. Like, I would have been mad if I paid for this in theaters and, like, I go into the theater and I'm like, oh, so it's not an hour and a half. It's not even an hour and a half. It's an hour and 15-minute movie. And I'm just like, oh, so it's not even an hour and 15 minutes of new stuff. It's literally just like an hour of new stuff.
Yeah.
Which is still, it's whatever. It's just my favorite. If I were to choose a favorite,
sure.
I think it'd be Rhapsody in Blue. I like that. That was fun. Like that? The caricatures, the story connecting. Like, I thought that was great. I mean, Pomp and Circumstance had its moments.
I think honestly, I liked the Firebird Suite and Pomp and Circumstance the best. But you didn't pay attention to the Firebird Suite.
I did not pay attention to the Firebird Suite.
It was pretty good imagery. It was a strong one to end on. It just, then they didn't end the rest of the movie. They just stopped.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, the concert's over, and they just started walking away. Literally, that's what happened.
It's like Ferris Bueller is like, why are you still here? The movie's over. Go home.
I guess I'd give it a half a face. Like, I feel like you can go out and watch the shorts that are good, and that's all you need. You don't have to watch this movie.
No. 2.5 stars for me. Like, it's out of 5 again, just a reminder.
Yeah.
I'll just say that until March, and then after March, y'all should just remember that we've changed the rating systems.
Okay, my rating system is very abstract, obviously, but I feel like a full face has been a stamp of competence, but it's so on the edge of that for me that I think I'm still at a half a face, which is like when it ended, I had a different feeling. When it ended, I was like, why didn't they do this more often? Maybe it would be better if they do it more often. But now I'm like, nah, just leave this in the water.
We're going to have to wait until Fantasia 2050. 2050.
Yeah.
2050. Oh my god. No, it's whatever. It's fine. The animation's fine. I understand why this is the beginning of a new era, because it definitely feels that way.
It does feel that way.
Definitely like a hard halt from what was the last one, Tarzan or something like that.
That might be right. I don't know.
Completely different direction.
Yeah. Well, welcome back to the Disney playlist. We'll be back with your 2000s favorites next time.
Oh my god, we edge closer and closer to that chicken movie. I can't wait.
Chicken Little?
No,
the cow movie.
Home on the Range.
You're talking about the cow movie.
The cow movie, yeah. Home on the Range. That one. God.
It might not be as bad as you remember,
garbage Disney ever
or it might be the worst thing ever. So
I think it's going to be the worst thing. It's going to be a torture hellhole. And if you want to put us through a torture hellhole, just a reminder, you can go to patreon.com/greenandfaceless. And if you subscribe, become a patron there, you have the chance to pitch an episode, a potato pick.
Yes, a potato pick. That is true. That's one of the main benefits. But right now, we did say that we are running 2 specials. And I think we're going to put a date on the end of these specials right here now, being March 15th, 2024. Being the Ides of March, just for fun.
Good.
Anyhow,
betray us all.
The 2 promotions that we said we're running is, for one, if you become a patron in that time period, you can suggest to us a playlist, and we will put it in a hat. And when we're looking for playlists, we will do that playlist. The second thing was, if we get 50 plus subscribers, new subscribers, between when you said so and whatever episode and the Ides of March, we will do 2024. We will do Green and Faceless on the Cooch. Now, we haven't decided what that means yet.
I've forgotten about that, man.
It was said on the air. It was said on the air, and I've been thinking about it, and we could brainstorm this right now if you want. I was thinking maybe we review Pirates.
That's what I was literally about to say. We review the most popular porn movie ever. Oh my god! You know how weird that would be to sit through. That'd be
so funny. Yeah, but it would of course be for our patrons.
Yes.
Yeah, so if you want to hear that, please go on to patreon.com/greenandfaceless, and we want to do it for you, kind of.
Yeah. You got a month and a half to get us up to 50 plus subscribers.
That one we will probably
That's a very low bar,
I think.
That's a low bar, No, I think that should be a stipulation. I think we should have to watch it together for maximum awkwardness.
Okay. All right.
You just want to be able to sneak away to the bathroom, you sick fuck.
What's wrong with that? There's nothing. It's good.
We're there to enjoy the art. We're there to enjoy the art.
The art. Yeah.
I'm in it for the letters.
All right. Well, we have done it. We've done a show.
Yes, we have the post-Renaissance Disney Here we come. We're coming at you, baby.
We just pitched the idea to watch a porno and a review for a Disney movie.
How can you not love this show? I am the Green Traveler from Gorge.
And I am the Faceless Leone. Safe travels and good night.